My beloved, come closer and take my hand right now, not as a symbol, not as a distant idea, but as a living, present reality, because in this very moment my hand is extended toward you, reaching beyond what your eyes can see, crossing every limitation of time, space, fear, and pain, touching the deepest part of your spirit where words have never reached before. And as you take my hand, breathe slowly, deeply, intentionally, allowing the breath I give you to settle your racing thoughts, calm your trembling heart, and remind you that you are not alone, never have been, and never will be, for I am here with you now, not watching from afar, not waiting for you to become stronger, better, or more worthy, but meeting you exactly where you are, in your exhaustion, in your confusion, in the quiet places where you have been carrying burdens too heavy for your soul. And as you breathe, let my peace enter you, a peace that does not depend on circumstances, outcomes, or explanations, a peace that flows directly from my presence into every fractured place inside you, washing over wounds you tried to forget, scars you learned to live with, disappointments you buried so deeply you convinced yourself they no longer hurt. And yet I see them all, every brick you stacked to protect your heart after betrayal, every wall you built after hope was crushed, every defense you perfected because vulnerability felt too dangerous, too costly, too painful. And I tell you now, gently but firmly, you no longer need those walls, because I am not here to wound you. I am here to heal you, and healing cannot reach what remains hidden. So let your guard down, not in fear, but in trust, because my hand is steady, my intention is pure, and my love is stronger than every fear that taught you to close your heart. And as you allow me in, I write truth directly onto your heart, not on pages that fade, not in memories that weaken, but in the core of your being where it will remain when doubts rise, when storms rage, when voices try to convince you that nothing will ever change. Because hear me clearly now, your pain is not eternal, your suffering does not define your future, your current season is not your final chapter. Everything that has weighed on you has an expiration date. Every sorrow, every delay, every unanswered question, every tear you cried in silence is temporary, and even now the ending of this painful chapter is being written. Even if you cannot see it yet, because while you focus on surviving today, I am already preparing your tomorrow, and I ask you to stay calm, to keep your faith alive, not because faith ignores reality, but because faith anchors you to a reality higher than what your eyes perceive. And as my word flows into your mind right now, it cleanses your thoughts like a powerful river washing away debris, removing anxiety, uprooting toxic beliefs, dismantling destructive patterns that have kept you trapped in cycles of fear and exhaustion. And you may feel it happening subtly, quietly, like a weight lifting from your chest, like a lightness returning to your breath, like a small spark of hope flickering in a place you thought was permanently dark. And I want you to know that this is not imagination. This is transformation, because I am your shepherd and you will lack nothing. Not only provision for your body, but peace for your soul, joy for your days, rest for your weary spirit. And from this moment forward you will no longer wake up already defeated, already tired, already bracing yourself for disappointment, because the heaviness that made every step feel like a burden is being lifted. The exhaustion that sleep could not cure is being addressed at its root. And you will begin to feel strength returning, not all at once, not in overwhelming waves, but steadily, faithfully, like dawn breaking after a long night. And as I remove the blindfolds from your eyes, I show you glimpses of the future ahead. Not everything at once, because your heart is still learning to trust again, but enough to keep you moving, enough to remind you that what lies ahead is richer, brighter, and more beautiful than what you have left behind. And if you continue walking while holding my hand, step by step, moment by moment, I will sustain you through every trial, protect you through every uncertainty, guide you through every decision, because I am not only your God, I am your Father, your counselor, your refuge, your constant companion, and I know that part of you struggles to believe this fully. Because suffering has trained your heart to doubt, disappointment has taught you to expect less, and fear has learned to speak louder than hope. But I ask you now to stop striving, to stop carrying what was never meant for your shoulders, to stop trying to solve everything alone, and instead open your heart completely, not only the parts you are proud of, but the hidden rooms where shame lives, the locked places where fear hides, the forgotten dreams you buried because life became too heavy. Because I enter every space with light, truth, and restoration, and nothing you show me will make me turn away. Nothing you confess will make me love you less. And as you remain here with me, breathing, listening, receiving, know this deeply and without doubt. I have never failed you, not once, not in your darkest hour, not in your quietest tears, not in moments you thought I was absent. Because even when you could not feel me, I was carrying you. Even when you thought you were alone, I was working on your behalf. And now I am breathing life into you again, reviving emotions you thought were gone forever, restoring your ability to hope, to dream, to believe in goodness again, strengthening your body, renewing your mind, awakening your spirit. Because your story is not over, your purpose has not expired. And what I am doing in you now is only the beginning of a transformation that will unfold step by step as you continue to trust me, even when you do not yet understand the full picture. And as this transformation begins to unfold within you, I want you to understand something your pain has tried to hide from you. That your value has never been reduced by what you endured. Your worth has never been diminished by the years you spent struggling. And your destiny has never been canceled by delays, detours, or failures. Because time does not limit me and age does not define your usefulness in my hands. And I see in you a beauty that has nothing to do with youth or strength but everything to do with resilience, faith, and the quiet courage that kept you moving forward when giving up seemed easier. And do not tell me it is too late, because some of the greatest works I have ever done were accomplished through hearts that thought their season had passed, through lives that believed their best days were behind them. And I am telling you now with authority and tenderness that your best days are still ahead. Being prepared even now as you sit here listening, breathing, allowing my presence to steady your soul. And I want you to remember that while you sleep I remain awake. While you worry I am planning. While you feel vulnerable I am standing guard. Because I am not human, I do not forget. I do not grow tired. I do not lose interest. And I have known you since before you were formed, before your name was spoken by anyone else, before your story unfolded with all its twists and pain. And even when you fell, even when you turned away, even when you doubted my love, I pursued you, lifted you, restored you again and again. And every time you stumbled my grace was there to catch you. Not to shame you, but to remind you that falling is not the end when my hand is holding you. And now I am awakening something within you that fear tried to silence. Reviving dreams you buried under practicality, responsibility, and disappointment. Dreams you once believed were foolish because others did not understand them. Visions you locked away because the world convinced you they were unrealistic. And I tell you they were never foolish. They were seeds, and seeds always wait for the right season to grow. And this season is approaching, even if it does not look like it yet, because I am dusting off those dreams, breathing life into them again, reminding you of who you were before disappointment taught you to shrink your expectations. And I am restoring that spark you had when hope felt natural and faith felt light. That courage to try again even after failure, that willingness to believe that good things were possible. And do not measure yourself by the calendar or by comparisons with others. Because comparison distorts perspective and steals joy. And your journey was never meant to look like anyone else's. And I have watched over you with unwavering attention, protected you from dangers you never saw, closed doors that would have destroyed you, redirected paths that would have led you into pain you were not meant to endure. And if you could see clearly how many times I intervened when you thought things simply did not work out, you would understand that even your disappointments carried protection within them. And now I am asking you to remember, to recall moments when you thought everything was lost and yet you were still here, breathing, standing, believing again, because that alone is proof of my faithfulness. And I am reviving your memory so you can see the pattern of my hand throughout your life. Moments of provision when resources appeared unexpectedly. Moments of protection when danger passed without touching you. Moments of healing you did not even recognize at the time. And as I restore your perspective, I also restore your strength, energy flowing again into places that have been drained by stress and worry, vitality returning to areas weakened by constant pressure, peace settling into your body, mind, and spirit. And I am removing from your soul the belief that you must remain strong alone, that asking for help is weakness, that vulnerability is dangerous, because true strength is found in trust. And trust grows when you allow me to carry what you cannot. And now I want you to let go of the voices that told you that you are not enough, that you will never change, that your situation is hopeless, that you are too broken to be restored. Because those voices did not come from me, and with my authority I silenced them, breaking their hold, casting them away so they no longer echo in your thoughts. And as those voices fade, clarity rises, and you begin to see yourself as I see you, chosen, valued, capable, deeply loved, set apart for a purpose greater than survival. And I am awakening discernment within you so that you no longer tolerate what diminishes your spirit, so that you recognize when someone speaks to you without honor, so that you no longer accept positions, relationships, or limitations that are beneath the calling I have placed on your life. And this awakening may feel uncomfortable at first, because growth often disrupts what is familiar, but it will lead you into freedom, confidence, and peace. And as you continue to listen, know this truth without hesitation. Your current struggle is temporary, your breakthrough is being prepared, and the blessing ahead of you will be greater than the affliction behind you. So great that one day you will look back on this season and understand why it was necessary, how it strengthened you, refined you, and positioned you for what is coming. And I speak to you now not by coincidence, not by accident, but by intention, because this moment was arranged. This message was meant for you, and I am giving you strength to rise out of discouragement, to break free from the slow pull of despair, to stand again on solid ground, because challenges are coming not to destroy you but to elevate you, not to defeat you but to reveal my power working through you. And I am preparing you to receive good news, opportunities you did not expect, doors opening without your effort, favor coming from places you never anticipated. And even when challenges arise alongside these blessings, you will have the wisdom, calm, and trust to walk through them without fear, knowing that behind every obstacle I am hiding growth, promotion, and transformation, because I am a loving Father with plans for your good, plans to prosper you, to give you hope, and to lead you into a future filled with purpose, peace, and restored joy. And as you move forward in this renewed awareness, I want you to understand that discernment is becoming sharper within you, not as suspicion, but as wisdom, enabling you to recognize what nourishes your spirit and what quietly drains it, what aligns with your calling and what subtly pulls you backward. Because I am teaching you to guard not only your thoughts but also your ears, your heart, and your time, knowing that not every voice deserves access to your inner world, and not every opportunity is meant for you. And as you learn to listen more closely to my voice, you will sense warnings before danger appears, an uneasiness that protects you from traps, a clarity that exposes false intentions, and at the same time you will recognize moments of blessing as they unfold. Divine appointments where your words bring healing, your presence brings comfort, and your actions reflect love that restores faith in others. And I am awakening you to see your own value so clearly that you no longer allow humiliation, manipulation, or disrespect to settle in your life, because you are no longer the person who accepts less just to avoid conflict. And this shift may surprise even you, as you begin to speak with calm confidence, set boundaries without guilt, and walk away from what once held power over you. And I want you to remember again that your problems are not eternal, that every struggle you face carries an end date known to me, and the blessing coming toward you outweighs the affliction you endured, not as compensation, but as confirmation that I waste nothing, not your tears, not your waiting, not your perseverance. And one day you will see how each challenge refined you, strengthened you, and prepared you for what I am placing in your hands. And I speak to you now with urgency and love, reminding you that this moment was not random, that you did not arrive here by accident, that I orchestrated this encounter because your spirit needed reassurance, strength, and direction. And I am empowering you now to rise out of discouragement, to break the slow pull of despair that tried to convince you to settle for survival, and instead to stand firmly on truth, because I am equipping you to face challenges not as threats but as opportunities. And you will receive news that brings joy, doors opening that you did not knock on, favor appearing where resistance once stood. And even when conflicts arise alongside these blessings, you will navigate them with wisdom rather than fear, because behind each challenge I am hiding growth, promotion, and authority. And I want you to trust my timing even when answers seem delayed, because delay is not denial, and silence is not absence. And I am actively working in ways you cannot yet perceive, aligning circumstances, softening hearts, preparing resources, and positioning you for outcomes that exceed what you dared to imagine. And I am calling you now to remove complaint and doubt from your mind, not because you are forbidden to feel pain, but because dwelling in negativity clouds discernment and weakens faith. And I am teaching you to shift your focus from what is missing to what is present, from what is wrong to what is right, from what you lost to what remains. And as you do, gratitude will become a force that reshapes your inner world, freeing you from cycles of dissatisfaction. And when you speak to me in prayer, know that I listen with intention and respond with wisdom, not ignoring your cries, not dismissing your pain, but answering in ways that protect your future. And I am surrounding you with mercy that cleanses your past completely, erasing guilt, dissolving shame, and renewing your conscience, so that you no longer live defined by mistakes but guided by truth. And I am reminding you again that you have never been alone, that even in moments when you felt abandoned, I was holding you, carrying you, sustaining you, and now I am inviting you to look at your challenges differently, not as walls blocking your path but as platforms lifting you higher. And I am telling you firmly not to return to old patterns, old relationships, or old narratives that belong to seasons that have ended, because there is nothing left for you there. And as you continue forward, you will notice shifts around you. People who once overlooked you will take notice. Those who doubted you will grow quiet. And those who opposed you will witness my favor without being able to deny it. And I am calming the loneliness that once gripped your heart, replacing it with a quiet confidence that you are seen, valued, and guided. And this peace you feel now is real, not imagined, not temporary, but rooted in transformation, because my power is at work within you, shaping a faith that cannot be broken by circumstance, opinion, or fear. And from this place of stability, you will move forward with courage, swimming against currents when necessary, standing firm when others collapse, because I am anchoring your soul in truth, and I am igniting within you a fire that will not fade, a steady passion that fuels purpose rather than anxiety. And I am extending your days with wisdom, not merely adding time, but filling your life with meaning, influence, and joy. And you will become a blessing to others, planting seeds of truth in your family, modeling faith through authenticity rather than performance. And your story will speak louder than your words, becoming a testimony that brings hope to those who are still in darkness. And I am shaping you to speak with love and clarity, not condemnation, because I am a father who restores, not a judge who crushes. And I tell you now with certainty that it is time to rise fully, to live intentionally, to trust deeply, and to walk forward knowing that what I have begun in you will be completed. And what awaits you will confirm every word I am speaking to you now. And now, my beloved, as these words settle deep within you, I want you to rest in the certainty that nothing you have received here will fade, because what I have spoken is sealed by my faithfulness, not by your emotions, not by your circumstances, but by my unchanging nature. And from this moment forward you are no longer the person who walked into this message carrying hidden fear, silent grief, and unanswered questions, because you are leaving with clarity, strength, and a peace that anchors your soul. And I want you to understand this final truth with absolute confidence. Your victory has already been secured, your future has already been prepared, and your life is firmly held in my hands, not drifting, not forgotten, not vulnerable to chance. And when you rise from this moment and step back into your daily life, do not wonder if this transformation was real, because it will reveal itself quietly through your calm reactions, your renewed patience, your strengthened faith, and your steady hope. And when challenges appear again, as they will, remember that they are no longer threats but confirmations that you are moving forward, because storms do not stop those who are anchored, and darkness cannot overcome a heart filled with light. And I ask you now to walk boldly, not arrogantly, confidently, not anxiously, knowing that every step you take is accompanied by my presence, and you do not need to prove anything to anyone, because your worth is already established, your identity already affirmed, and your purpose already alive within you. And as you go, speak life, choose forgiveness, walk in discernment, and remain rooted in gratitude, because these are the markers of a soul aligned with me. And you will notice doors opening naturally, provision arriving at the right time, relationships healing gradually, and peace becoming your default state rather than a temporary escape. And when doubts attempt to return, do not wrestle with them endlessly. Simply return to this truth. I am with you, I have never left you, and I never will. And your prayers are heard, your tears are honored, your faith is seen, and your obedience is producing fruit beyond what you can yet see. And I am proud of you, not because you were perfect, but because you remained faithful, because you continued to believe even when believing was difficult, and because you chose trust over fear one more time. And now I release you into this next season with blessing, clarity, protection, and peace, and I place joy upon your heart, strength upon your spirit, wisdom upon your steps, and rest upon your mind. And wherever you go from here, carry this assurance with you. You are deeply loved, divinely guided, fully protected, and eternally held, and nothing ahead of you will be greater than the grace that walks with you. Because I am your God, your Father, your refuge, and your home, and this is not the end of my work in you. It is only the beginning, and you will walk forward in peace, in confidence, and in unshakable faith, knowing with certainty that all is well, all is aligned, and all is safely placed in my hands.